The Boating Adventure Community Post Channel Update number 51. Well, a very good day to you and welcome to the cuddy of the Swamp Duck. When Steve and I went out the other weekend, I became quite aware of the state of some of the fender ropes. They are becoming quite frayed in places, and this fender in particular was quite bad, and I had to tie this emergency knot to make sure the thing didn't fall off the boat altogether. Obviously these take quite a battering when you're going in and out of locks and you're mooring up against hard surfaces, that kind of thing. So they do need to be looked at and inspected, and the ropes changed periodically. So I've been and purchased some brand new braided rope. Wasn't over expensive, that, and I'm going to go around the boat today and renew all the ropes on the fenders. It's amazing how many fenders you see loose and floating in the water, having escaped the boats. And I don't really want to add to that collection, so it's a good idea every now and again to just have a look at them and make sure they're okay. So that's my job today. It's a brilliant day outside, except it's very, very windy. And there is a storm yet again on its way. I can't remember the name of this one, but apparently it's supposed to bring in quite a lot of heavy rain, but mainly in the north of the country and Scotland, I think. So fingers crossed it won't affect taking the boat out in the next few days, which is what I really want to do. So let's get on and get these fender ropes. Those seem much better days. Get them gone and some new fender ropes installed. So I can use the old rope as a bit of a template. I can stretch that out and see how much I need and match it with the new piece of rope. That's about it. Just cut that bit off, and then I will seal the ends by just melting that end over a flame, and that will seal it off. I'll just seal the end with the flame, make it a bit neat. And that's it. The way that I tend to attach the rope to the fender, pass that through the eye of the fender, put that through there, and you've got a double thickness of rope to keep the fender there in place. And then it's just a matter of doing that and attaching it to the eye on the side of the boat. There are some proper fender eyes on this boat, so I can put the rope through them and do a knot, and that's it, job done. So this is fender number 2. There are 6 fenders on the side of the boat altogether. Then there are the 2 corner fenders at the back of the boat, and then there's the bow fender. It's really just the side fenders that I need to worry about. I do have one other fender which is on quite a long rope, and that is attached to the rail on top of the boat, and I use that sometimes if we moor somewhere and you need a fender a little bit higher up to stop you banging against the side. I do use it here in the marina all the time. One good thing about taking them off now and again is just to make sure that they are inflated. These, you have to pump air into them. So every now and again it's a good idea to check to see if they're still intact and not punctured. Otherwise they're not doing very much. This one's okay. Get this one done and 4 more to go. When it comes to attaching the fender to the boat, I tend to tie a reef knot. I find that is the most successful knot for doing it with. I have tried doing slip knots and that kind of thing, but I found a reef knot is the easiest thing. So that's that one done. With regard as to how high to set these, I tend to do them so that the bottom part of the fender is just trailing in the water. I do that for a couple of reasons. One reason is it's a very good effect when we're filming, and we've used that quite a few times when we're in between slides. It's a good little effect just to change from one shot to another, just to insert a little picture of the boat going along and the fenders making that lovely pattern on the water, which is why we do it. The other reason is that if the fender is set too high, then it kind of adds to the width of the boat, and I don't want to do that, especially in a narrow lock which is about 7 foot wide. The boat is 6'10" at maximum, so I don't really want to make it any wider, otherwise then we're having to remember to pull up the fenders all the time. As it is, the fenders tend to push into the side of the boat and they don't actually add to the width of the boat at its maximum point. I'll show you what I mean on a boat that's moored up quite close. Okay, so the fenders on this boat next to me are set quite high so that they can't really escape. If you see what I mean, they can't push into the side of the boat, so it's adding another 3 or 4 inches to the width of that boat. So if you were to take that boat down somewhere like the Oxford Canal, where the locks are very, very narrow, then you really would have to lift the fenders, which kind of defeats the object of the fenders. So if it were me, I would set that fender a lot lower so it was almost touching the water, and then at least it's got somewhere to go. Of course, it does depend on the shape of your boat. Some of these boats are a lot straighter at the sides than mine. Mine tends to be more of a V shape, so that the fender can actually go in towards the body of the boat. But you can see clearly on the front of that particular boat that the fender there could quite easily be a lot lower down, and it would still protect the side of the boat, but it wouldn't add to the width of the boat as it does at the moment. I think one of the things to bear in mind also is that the locks have been around since some of them 1777, and the sides of them tend to come in. The pressure of the water and the pressure of the earth is pushed the sides of the locks inwards, and you'll find that some of the locks are not necessarily 7 foot wide anymore, and so you don't have an awful lot of room to maneuver. So these are the eyes that are screwed onto the side of the boat, which make it very easy to attach the fender. Okay, so the fender goes in there, and it's just sitting on the surface of the water there, just touching it. So I can now put that through there, like so. And it's left over right, like that, and right over left. And that's as good a strong knot as any. And you can tidy them up by putting some cable ties around those if you want to. This is the small fender that I use because the side of the boat is very close here to the pontoon, so I put that one in, and it's an old one that I had when I bought the boat originally, so I kept that one, and I can attach it then to the rail and I can move it around, put it on the other side if necessary. It's handy just to have a spare fender. Okay, I've now completed changing all of the side fender ropes, and I've got plenty of rope left, and I might just do the bow fender as well. It's got some quite nasty cheap nylon rope on it, but it's not fretted at all because it doesn't really get a bashing like the rest. So I'm just going to put some cable ties just to tidy the ropes up a bit really. Although when they get wet they will just tidy themselves up. It's very windy now and the boat is getting blown all over the place in the, next to the pontoon here. So you can hear the fenders doing their work. The boat opposite, on the one on the left hand side, so I'm looking at it, those fenders look just about in the right position. They're not going to increase the width of the boat any, and they're just going to push into the side there, and that's fairly straight sided. The next one, it wouldn't really matter because it's not going to go in a narrow lock anyway, so that's only going to go into a river lock, so it's not such an issue. It's just when you're going to use a narrow canal lock where you need to be wary of the fenders increasing the width of the boat. My next video, due for its premiere showing, will go out at 8 AM on Saturday the 28th of October 2023, and that's our video of our visit to Lincoln. We moored up at the Brayford Pool, and we had a good look round the Brayford Pool itself, and then went up to Lincoln. We had a look at the Fosdyke Canal as it went through Lincoln, and we had some really good footage of Lincoln Cathedral. So join me at 8 AM on Saturday the 28th of October 2023 for the premiere showing of that video. I'd just like to say a big welcome to all those people who have recently subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much for joining us, and a big thank you to all of you who have supported the channel for a long time now. So thank you very much, and as always, do take care.